One sharp vibration, and 22 years of marriage evaporated inside a single push notification. Your divorce is final. The phone's glow sliced the rig's oily night. Floodlights carved the salt mist. Steel deck plates suddenly felt hollow beneath my boots. Metal touched my tongue. Fear tastes like that after 52 years. Less than 48 hours remained before my daughter Lauren's graduation, and every heartbeat turned into a razor click. Before we go any deeper, drop your city and age in the comments. Let the truth land where it hurts. My name is Mark Sullivan, insurance claims specialist from Tampa, Florida. Friday night heat clung at 79 degrees, yet my blood had chilled to the temperature of a drilling crane. I just traded my hard hat for a battered leather jacket and stepped into Alonzo's Coffee Bar, the only joint that tolerates rig hands after 10. A double espresso and a crate of rare vinyl were my decompression ritual, until the email detonated. Outside, neon drowned the parking lot in crimson puddles. I walked to my Ford Explorer feeling an old promise: secure the family, warp with each step. A Navy folder waited in the cargo bay, 6 weeks of quiet surveillance. Bellevue Suites photos of my wife Jenny kissing a stranger, Venmo transfers tagged incidentals, chat logs she thought deleted. Paper cut my fingers but pain sharpened vision. Panic wastes oxygen. Offshore life teaches that. So instead of screaming, I fired up the engine, Bluetooth cueing the Tom Petty track Jenny and I once called ours. Funny how chords can rust. 9 empty dockside minutes later, the Explorer halted beside attorney Lisa Granger's trailer. Coffee already steamed on her desk. She thumbed through the folder without blinking. Ready for scorched earth? She asked. Jenny chose the fire, I said. I'm just redirecting it. 3 crisp motions and the evidence lay sorted: civil, criminal, reputational. Surgical clarity. Then a flash drive slid forward. Room 412, Lisa said. Clock radio mic. She forgot it records. My heart skipped, then pounded. Jenny's voice poured from the tiny speaker. Soon it's all ours. And McDermott's gravel whisper calling her baby. Something metallic slammed shut inside my chest. We mapped the offensive. Before sunrise, temporary restraining order. By noon, account freeze. By 3, subpoena the hotel manager. Late Saturday brunch, documents so radioactive even champagne would curdle. But that was merely prologue. I stepped onto the pier. Cranes glowed like monster bones. The Gulf breeze flayed my face with salt. I opened my old rig notebook, scrawled large. Don't scream. Act. That line kept me breathing when a blowout preventer failed at 220 feet. It would carry me again. The phone flashed a missed call, Miami area code. I hit redial on speaker. A male voice, anchor tattoo smooth. Drop the lawyer, or your girl won't see Sunday. Click. Dead air. In the mirror, a green laser winked across the windshield, then vanished. 1 word or was enough. Less than 48 hours to graduation, a handful of breaths. The windshield showed the GPS route, but I saw something else. Lauren on stage, honor cords gleaming, a red dot creeping across her gown. Don't scream. Act. Fewer than 3 hours before sunrise, I parked the Explorer outside Sunfront Bank. Nothing in the glass lobby but street lamp glare and the warped silhouette of a man who just lost everything except intent. Security waved me through when I flashed the freeze order. Upstairs, the branch manager's tie trembled like a flag over a sinkhole. While he typed, my phone blinked. Joint withdrawal attempt, $15,000, Bellevue Suites. 15 grand, the cushion Jenny once called. Lauren's college. 1 wrong keystroke and the money would vanish. I leaned close enough to fog his lenses and recited the fraud statute I'd memorized offshore between well logs. Click. Funds locked. Somewhere a brunch plan flatlined. Wind smelled of wet asphalt as I stepped outside and called Lisa. Jenny had filed an emergency motion to unfreeze the accounts, hearing set for 11. The war had pivoted from cash to clock. We needed blood, not balance sheets. Jenny's townhouse squatted in sleepy pre-dawn humidity. McDermott's Dodge Ram idled cooling metal. I could still taste diesel in the air. Through a cracked kitchen window, Jenny rehearsed. Coach won't do. Paparazzi will see bruises. Bruises scripted by the man coaching her pauses. A shotgun mic hidden in the palm tree drank every word. When they switched to private flight out of Sarasota, I hijacked the call, voice masking as a broker. The pilot bragged his Learjet would lift at 6 p.m. Champagne on ice. I ordered strawberries, no spy cam like a chatty steward. Delta storage crouched under broken neon. Jenny punched in our anniversary, June 17th, door rolled up like a guillotine. 2 gas cans, a steel drum, Lauren's teddy bear sealed in a portable safe. On the drum, L+M equals freedom in red sharpie. I filmed every second, stomach frosting over. The safe's display flashed 23-06, Lauren's birthday, then dimmed. Nostalgia turned into shrapnel. City lights flickered awake when I met Lauren at Riverside Cafe. She marked calculus problems while latte sweat beaded the glass. I forced a smile. She asked why Mom's attorney kept calling. I crafted half-truths, tried not to inventory every exit. Lauren said she chose Colorado State because snow feels honest. I promised boots. On the wall, the Weather Channel tracked a tropical storm creeping toward the Gulf. Cameras love storms. Lisa's Jeep waited outside. In the passenger seat, she handed over the FBI voice match file. 92% certainty McDermott placed the threat. We had audio, video, money trails. All we lacked was a stage. Graduation stadium, 900 seats of witness. Rain finally arrived during our drive to the sheriff's office. Lexus tracker pinged, Jenny turning off the highway toward an abandoned drive-in. I diverted. The old screen had been repainted into a billboard quoting my own life insurance clause. Upon policyholder death, all assets transfer to spouse. In the puddle stood 2 shadows, McDermott smoking, Jenny painting her lips fire engine red. I slid beneath the ram, bolting a second GPS beacon while their voices crackled overhead. 2 minutes and everything burns, he said. Faster if the Gulf winds up, she answered. Raindrops drummed my hood like a countdown. Back in my car, I noticed a yellow school bus creeping by. On its rear window, someone had scrawled "See you tomorrow, Dad" in thick marker. Only one figure inside, phone-lit face hidden by hair. I blinked, and the bus was gone. That evening Earl, my ex-deputy neighbor, reported a black SUV circling the block thrice. We were trading stories under the porch light when my phone pushed a live stream, Lauren alone on the auditorium stage, mortarboard in hand. Anchor-tattooed fingers brushed her shoulder. A synth voice said, "Tick-tock," and a counter lit up midnight, immediately rolling backward. Lauren mouthed "Dad." The feed cut. Plastic creaked under my grip. "Don't scream. Act." The timer kept its own pulse. 23 hours 59 minutes 59 seconds. Night had collapsed over the cul-de-sac when I pulled back into the driveway. Earl dozed on his porch rocker, shotgun balanced across his knees, Tiger rumbling at some ripple of shadow behind the oleander. Inside, Lauren's panic button reported the same timid breadcrumb trail. Bedroom, kitchen, bedroom, so far untouched. "For now," I muttered, "for now smells like cordite." I spread the day's harvest on the kitchen table. Warehouse photos, audio of the threat, the failed wire request, a Learjet ticket printed with Jenny's married name, and a ChemLab sheet confirming the cans held pure Jete laced with methylethyl, illegal to haul without a Has license. Lisa's text chimed, "Judge says evidence fits, but jurors need a spectacle. We have to let the lie collapse in public." A spectacle. My mind flashed to the graduation stage, planks groaning under somebody else's redemption speech. Sheriff West answered on the first ring, old friend from the boat crash insurance days. He listened without interruption, just scratched notes I could almost hear. "Unmarked units on the bleachers," he said, "and a surprise waiting county line. Meet me under Bailey Cliff Bridge at 1:20. The bridge glowed sulfur yellow. Beneath it a sheriff's skiff idled dark. A DA lockbox lay on the deck like a coffin. West lifted the lid, lab bags, fingerprints, the kerosene blend. Your anchor tap prince just graduated from adulterer to federal smuggler, he said. I signed the chain of custody and the boat slipped into black water. Midnight ticked over. Sarasota Tower pinged. The Learjet taxied early, brake lights bobbing on the runway. Then blue strobes exploded across the tarmac. Lisa's video flashed to my phone, Marshall's yanking the pilot down the stairway, Jenny clawing at the window, shouting words the mic didn't catch but every lip read. This is a mistake. McDermott was not on board. Plan B was still breathing. A radio alert followed, school bus 64 missing from its depot, same route that delivered yesterday's marker message. Lauren slept upstairs, yet my heart plunged. Maybe the kidnapping was only a smoke screen. I barged into her room. She blinked from behind a laptop, asked if I'd gone insane. I lied, fire alarm drill. She rolled her eyes. Teenagers don't understand siege warfare. Saturday dawn arrived with the smell of wet asphalt and brake dust. I drove Lauren to rehearsal unannounced. Tiger dozed in the back seat, low-throating approval of my security plan. Deputy in a faded ball cap whispered, 3 plainclothes in the parent section, 2 with glass on the roof. No rifles, just optics. I nodded. Enough. Rehearsal oozed like cold molasses. Behind the backstage partition I counted details, banner. Tomorrow starts today. A green ribbon across the lectern, the buzz of an HVAC vent, the crunch of Lauren's teeth when she forced a smile at an anxious classmate. Every sound a hairline fracture. An electrician in a neon vest found me, claimed lighting plot approval. His tablet did not show circuits, only a photo of my back, laser dot dancing between my shoulder blades. Caption scrawled in marker. Next frame equals her. I looked up, but the vest was gone, swallowed by parents and seniors. I forwarded the pic to Lisa. Her reply, contractor badges under review. Stay vertical. By noon thunder popped like blank rounds. The tropical storm had curved shoreward ahead of forecast. Storms make perfect cover noise. I booked a rideshare and shoved Lauren inside on the excuse of a wrinkled gown. Then I slipped through a crawlspace into the bowels beneath the stage. The electrical vault was hot and ozone sharp. A leather rucksack waited in the corner, no logos. Inside, a thumb radio detonator, 2 fresh fobs, and 3 passports, Mark Carter, McDermott, Jennifer Sullivan, and Lawrence Sullivan, photo 2 years old, visa class. A company. Storyboard complete, abusive husband, tragic blaze, brave mother absconds with the child. I popped the battery, locked the device in the building's fire safe, and photographed every page. Phone buzzed, live feed. Lauren again, in the back of her rideshare. The driver's cough shifted into McDermott's gravel. The camera tilted as the sedan left the highway for an industrial spur. Snow's more honest than sunshine, right, princess? He rasped, the very line she told me that morning. The taxi slid past the first police check without slowing. I smashed my way out of the understage hatch, kneeing the door until the jamb cracked, sprinted across the rain-slick lot, commandeered the nearest patrol explorer. The rookie behind the wheel trembled, but slammed the accelerator when I barked coordinates. In the rearview the school blurred into a slate wall of rain, while my eardrums chanted the only doctrine that mattered, don't scream. Act. The stream died on a frame of Lauren entering a warehouse garage. Red paint on the concrete arrowed deeper inside, ending in the numeral 12 o'clock. Less than an hour until noon. I keyed the mic. West, get the bird to the docks. I've got 1200, and they're keeping score. Cracked static answered. Choppers airborne, Mark, but the storm's outrunning all of us. Night howled through the palms as the patrol explorer hammered south. Rain sheeted the windshield faster than the blades could swipe, turning the world into gray watercolors. Over the radio, Sheriff West crackled through static. Got your Sunride sedan on Delta Industrial. Thermals patchy, storms killing the feed. Confirm plate? 692PXV, I said. Match. Choppers orbiting Marlin Freight. We left asphalt for a maze of shipping crates. A headlightless box truck fishtailed past, soaking the hood. My rookie driver yanked us sideways. We clipped a pallet stack and shaved off a cloud of splinters. In the rear mirror I caught the school bus, yellow taxi squeezed under a lean-to. I vaulted out, boots skating on diesel glaze, and sprinted to Warehouse 7. The roll-up door was down, but crimson strobe leaked beneath. Kerosene stung the air, same scent rigs wear, only here it promised hell. The guard shack latch gave at one twist. Under a green bulb a rent-a-cop hunched over headphones, watching live feed, Lauren duct-taped to a steel truss, fuel drums at her feet, McDermott pacing, palm over the anchor tattoo. I jerked the headset. He spun too late. Zip ties and he kept him quiet. White noise hissed in the ear cups. Loop storm audio, good cover for gunshots. One button on the panel read roll. It would cage me with the girl and the fuel, but sheriff backup was pinned by gale force wind. Panic wastes oxygen. I hit it. The door roared up. Heat slapped me. Half uncapped drums glistened on the floor. McDermott grinned like a director at curtain time, thumb resting on a single red-cap detonator, extinguisher slung at his hip for comic relief. "You're late, Dad," he said. 7 minutes, pump floods the vents. Bank or your daughter? I choose a finale without your face, I replied, and bounced a flashbang off the concrete. White fire crushed vision for a heartbeat. Rig drills teach you to blink through that. McDermott flinched. The remote skittered into a slick of fuel. Its battery snapped free, sparks dying in the puddle. We crashed together, old offshore muscle against mercenary conditioning. Scar tissue screamed along my shoulder. He hissed. "Too late, Mark." Rotor wash rattled the roof. West's bird, spotlight lancing through cracked skylights. Color drained from McDermott's eyes. He swung the extinguisher like a mallet. I parried. Foam geysered into the rafters and turned the floor into icy soap. He slipped. I drove a knee into his gut. He howled, then dragged a knife free. I twisted. The blade pinned his wrist to a girder. Rage turned to shock. Somewhere a siren flipped tones. A digital chirp rose above it. A wall timer glowed, 0:02:19, counting down. The air was already a carcinogenic fog. I cut Lauren's bonds. Circulation left her legs useless. "Dad, it smells like a gas station," she whispered. "Smells like an ending," I said. "Breathe slow, look at the door." I ripped the fire axe from its cradle, hacked the ceiling hatch. Savage wind punched in, diluting vapor. Skids from the sheriff's chopper hovered inches above the roof. I clipped a sling to Lauren's waist. The winch lifted her into storm light. Timer bled seconds, 0:01:02. Below, McDermott writhed, hand still stapled by his own blade, free hand flicking a Zippo. Rain killed the first spark, but he shielded the flame with his body. I hurled the extinguisher into the fuel line. The pump coughed, ruptured, and misted the room in cold vapor. Power relays snapped. Fluorescence died. Timer froze at 0:00:07. Blue arcs cracked. SWAT tasers. West's entry stack flooded the bay. McDermott dropped, Zippo clattering into a shallow pool that refused to burn. I stood among wet drums and broken promises, lungs tasting ozone and ocean. On the roof Lauren sobbed, not from fear but from being alive. Lisa clambered down the rope ladder, rain plastering her hair. She said, "The fire's out, Mark, but court is still on. Jenny's funds are locked, yet her attorney wants an arrest photo of you." I replied. "Tell him I'll bring my best profile." My phone burst red, one new message. "Subscribe if you want the ending I choose next. J." The storm had limped out to sea, leaving ozone in its wake and splintered pallets strewn across the docks. Exhaustion tried to seep in, but the sheriff's transport van was already rumbling toward headquarters with me, Lauren, and a battered McDermott in the back. She clutched the same teddy bear I'd found in the fuel-soaked safe. No words, just that tight wheeze every time she tried to breathe deeper. Inside the station lobby Lisa waited with the county prosecutor. Local news cameras flared behind the glass. Someone had leaked the heroic rescue footage. Lisa leaned close. Jenny fired first. Press release says terrified mother saved daughter from abusive husband. Authorities now hide her whereabouts. Tell them the abuser wields a fire axe. I muttered. While medtechs checked Lauren, I laid out the chain: money fraud, fuel bomb, abduction. McDermott sat in a separate cage, swallowing blood. Lisa drafted an emergency arrest warrant for Jenny. Judge Fleming scheduled the hearing exactly 20 minutes before graduation was set to start. He's shielding himself from biased claims, Lisa sighed. Live stream court, let the public watch. Or give her one last pivot, I said. Sheriff West called a press conference on the courthouse steps. I faced the lenses holding a thumb drive. Behind me the prosecutor cued footage of the warehouse, drums, Zippo, countdown. Reporters fell silent. When the crowd thinned, Lisa handed me fresh papers. Temporary guardianship order listing me and Judge Fleming as co-custodians of Lauren until trial. He tied his fate to yours, she said. If anything happens, we both burn. We delivered Lauren to Earl's house. The old deputy cradled 2 shotguns and a whetstone. The place smelled of coffee and gun oil. I promised her I'd be back for the ceremony, and walked out hiding the wobble in my knees. Less than 3 hours until court. The courthouse was ringed by streamers hungry for a gasoline revenge love triangle. Jenny's attorney, Stephen Grace, waited by the metal detectors, charcoal suit slick with confidence. His tablet played a shaky clip, me shoving Jenny in a school parking lot, Jenny crumpling with a scream. The splice work was uglier than a first-day weld, but the internet was already in tears. Fake, I said. Believable clickbait, Lisa countered. But we've got ammo too. In the corridor, a projector beamed the proceeding to YouTube. Grace demanded real-time public view, and Fleming obliged, eyes flicking like a cornered ferret. Hearing opened. Grace rolled the shove video, produced a doctor's note, hairline fracture, radial bone. The stream chat howled sympathy. Then the prosecutor aired the original security footage, no fall, no shove. Comments flipped: fake, deep fake, drama queen. Grace unveiled another trick. Lab letter claiming McDermott's DNA on my fire axe. I almost laughed. The tool had soaked in jet fuel for hours. Any cell would be ash. Lisa fired back: Zippo prints, anchor tattooed hand on a gas can, audio of Jenny rehearsing bruises. Fleming's head sank between his shoulders. Choosing the safer mountains suddenly looked hard. Then a new channel popped into the live stream chat, Red Tide Live. It dropped a fresh photo, Jenny in U.S. Marshall holding cell, red lipstick still perfect. Caption: Guess who's already singing? The gallery buzzed. Lisa tipped me a grin. Morning field op release. Judge Fleming ruled, Jenny remains in custody. Motion to unfreeze funds denied. Cameras flashed. Grace merely shrugged, unclipped his mic, and whispered on his way out. 2 hours to cap and gown, Mark? Better check backstage. Ice replaced blood. Lisa and I bolted. As we raced for the car, my phone pinged an unknown number. 1 blue gown down. Score 1-0. Attached, a photo of a shredded royal blue graduation robe dripping rainwater in the school dumpster. Sirens cleared a path. My skull echoed "Don't scream." Act. Smoke greased the horizon above the gym when we reached campus. Engines blocked the road. Firefighters unwound hoses. Through gray billows I spotted Lauren, trembling on the edge of the track, alive, stunned. Beside her lay an empty fireworks crate and a note scrawled in red. The next salute goes off inside. Smoke crawled across the running track, turning the high school stadium into a deserted soundstage. Lauren clutched her torn gown, eyes flicking between firefighters and the charred fireworks crate. I slid the threat note into my jacket before any reporter could zoom in. "Mom's doing?" she whispered. "Same theater company, different actor," I said, tasting my own words like rust. A plainclothes deputy handed me a radio. "Fire captain says ignition point wasn't the gym, it was the distribution cabinet under the stage. tied to the fireworks feed. The very cabinet where last night's electrician flashed a laser on my back. I yanked on gloves and climbed the steel stairs beneath the bleachers. Pipes still hissed where foam had chilled hot metal, but the stink wasn't wood smoke. It was flash powder, fine magnesium mixed with sugar. One spark and oxygen turns lethal. Bolted to a wall stud, I found a tablet, duct-taped in place. The glass was cracked but alive, frozen on a countdown, 1:29:55. Beneath it pulsed. Freedom salute, arm 1400 hours. Ceremony began at 2. The timer wasn't running, it was waiting. I tried to yank the power lead, internal battery. Lauren's phone buzzed topside, unknown voice message. I hit speaker, creaking floorboards, heavy breath, Jenny cooing. Sweetheart, everything's on plan. Daddy will deliver us to freedom. Don't fear the sparklers, they're just Thanksgiving fireworks. Lauren clamped a hand over her mouth. Thunder hammered my skull. I surfaced, and the same cable company van that tailed us last night rolled onto the service lot. The driver climbed out in hard hat and clipboard labeled Fire Safety Protocol. He demanded access to the junction box. Security scanned his badge QR, name and number failed. The tech bolted. A rookie deputy cut his legs, the clipboard shattered, and a 12-channel LTE detonator skidded across wet asphalt. Below me the tablet shrieked, the arm flag flipped to count, 1:29:54. 53. Cease foam, possible magnesium reaction. I barked into the radio. Evacuate Sector C and jam cell signals on campus. Kill boxes take time to deploy, but 1 minute beats none. Lisa jogged up, sneakers soaked. Bad news, she gasped. Marshals checked Jenny's cell. Empty. Then she's here, I said, handing off the detonator. Get forensics on this IMEI. Next 30 minutes turned into motionless chase. Bomb squad crawled under the stage, cutting bundles of star shells and rubber fuse. Every tube held a GPS tag. One silent unit remained, buried deep beneath the main screen where signal died. Time kept dripping. Ceremony hour closed in like a shotgun muzzle. Lauren's row, letter L, would walk forth. I stood at stage left while seniors formed double lines, heart kicking at each floor creak. Then a figure appeared from the right corridor, blue gown, honor cord sash, but a head taller than any student, shoulders angular, boots instead of pumps. Oil droplets gleamed on the laces. I lunged, but an usher slipped through first, dragging gowns aside. I burst through the fire door into the sound booth. The figure threw back the hood, McDermott. Fresh gauze striped his neck where zip ties burned him. He smiled with cracked lips and raised a remote the size of a car key. Its LED blinked 3 times. A monitor behind him lit a static frame, understage vent cam. The drum from the warehouse, Zippo balanced on its lid, message scrawled in red, L plus M equals endgame. Corner timer, 0:10:00. The door clicked behind me, electronic bolt engaging. Lock in, lock out. Simple trade, Mark, he said. Walk on stage, confess everything, abuse, threats, tears. Live feed. Court exonerates Mother of the Year, and Lauren leaves with us. Or Tampa gets the loudest 4th of July preview ever. His fleet ring caught the light, sweat rolled down my temple. 10 kilos of magnesium under a packed grandstand, bones scorched to vapor. Outside, the band struck pomp and circumstance. 10 minutes to either die in shame, or let 1,000 people burn. I stepped toward McDermott, fist tightening, when my phone flashed an incoming text. Keep calm. Fireworks rerouted. W. McDermott's slit grin froze when the text flashed across my lock screen. He didn't see the message itself, just the glow, but he read the change in my posture. What? He sneered. Clock's running, Sullivan. Cry for the camera. I forced a tremor into my voice. Why you want a confession? Fine. Let's patch into the main feed. The sound booth's console ran every mic, every spotlight, and a fiber line straight to the district live stream. I tapped the on-air fader, masking the gesture that also opened a hidden channel Sheriff West had flagged admin AUX. A green dot winked. Connection hot. West's text looped in my head, fireworks rerouted. Somewhere below, bomb text had slipped the payload off stage and into a blast trench. All I had to do was keep the psycho believing he still held the fuse. McDermott shoved me into the frame of the room's broadcast cam, remote poised like a dead man's switch. "Say it," he hissed. Red live light blinked. Instead of a tearful mea culpa, I pushed the clip Lisa had cued. Audio of Jenny coaching bruises, video of McDermott hauling the gasoline drum. Stadium speakers spat their own conspiracy to the bleachers. 2 minutes and everything burns. Faster with a Gulf breeze. Crowd noise burst above us, gasps, parents shouting. McDermott's eyes twitched toward the remote as if it might restore control. "What did you do?" "I let Tampa hear your audition tape," I said. He thumbed the detonator. Nothing. He pressed again, harder. The LED blinked uselessly. Beneath the boards, West's squad must have jammed the handshake frequency and drained the dummy load into a burn pit. "What's wrong, Jared?" I kept my voice level. "Fireworks rerouted." Rage cracked his composure. He reached for the knife holster at his boot, but the gauze on his neck tugged, slowing him a beat. Enough. I drove a shoulder into his ribs. The remote skittered across the epoxy floor, slid under the mixer rack. We grappled. My elbow caught his jaw, his head smacked a flight case edge. A wet red halo bloomed. He fell but wasn't finished. Free hand clawed at the wiring loom, yanking bundles of fiber. The live stream hiccuped, then cut to the reserve feed, a wide shot of the stage where seniors milled in panicked confusion. Campus security burst the locked door, Deputy Morales first, taser ready. 2 arcs of blue thread pinned McDermott before his knife cleared the sheath. He convulsed, then sagged, still breathing. Morales cuffed him. I grabbed the headset. "West, device is cold, subject in custody." Static, then West. "Copy, but we just lost eyes on Jenny. Prison transport reports surrender paperwork forged. She's off grid." Below, the band had stopped playing. Teachers herded students toward emergency exits. Lauren, still in line, spotted me high in the booth and held up 2 shaky thumbs. I exhaled for the first time in an hour. Then every stadium display, scoreboard, concession stand TVs, even the giant alumni LED wall, flickered white. A new image burned in, Jenny's face under sodium lights, wind whipping her hair. She was in the back seat of a moving vehicle, looked like a news van, holding what the camera revealed only as a bulging duffel. Around her waist, Velcro straps and bricks the color of pale clay. Her voice boomed through the PA, hijacking the closed loop. "Congratulations, Tampa Heights, on surviving Act 1. My husband forgot rule number 1, insurance clauses have loopholes. Act 2 begins downtown, population density, maximum coverage." She held up a phone showing a map pinpointed at the Riverfront Holiday Parade lining up for afternoon kickoff. 10,000 spectators. "Tick-tock, Mark? Trade yourself in, live on air, or I light the city fireworks myself." The feed cut. Screens went black, sirens in their place. I tasted copper again. Wind rattled the broken window. Graduation was over, the battlefield had moved, and Jenny held the next detonator. Lisa's voice crackled in my earpiece. "Bomb Squad says the van is broadcasting on a roaming 5G node. She can trigger from anywhere. West wants you downtown in 20. One wrong streetlight and it's over." I stared at the dark scoreboard, hearing the distant echo of parade drums starting up.